Okay, I'm not even gonna lie that I am a little disappointed with my camera for the fact that it said, your storage is full, please remove some videos. And I thought, I just spent 10 minutes explaining a story and it stopped recording. Like, what is this? No problem, we're back. Good morning, everybody. My name is Fiona Lohr. I am a life crisis therapist, which means I work with people with stress and burnout symptoms and people who simply don't know whether they are making the right choice or not in their life. I'm still a little disappointed. That's totally okay. Welcome to my channel. For all of those of you, all 10 of you who have watched my previous videos, welcome back. And to all of those that are new, welcome to my channel. I'm so happy to have you here. Today, I was going to tell you a story about one of my work experiences. And I'm actually going to start by explaining that when I went to boarding school from the age of 9 till 18, and after that, I moved back to the Netherlands. I moved to Amsterdam, to Haarlem. I lived in Haarlem, studied in Amsterdam. And after half a year of having studied in Amsterdam, I thought, I don't like this course. I really don't like this university. I would prefer to just do something else. I need a gap year. I need to get my life on track. I had an eating disorder. I needed a moment. And I know that's a really first world problem. I'm very aware of that, but that is what I needed to do. And I'm really grateful that I did. So whilst I was working in Amsterdam, whilst I went to university, I found a job in a really nice hotel in Amsterdam airport. And I had the best time there. Like, I am still super grateful that they offered me a job there, gave me all these responsibilities. At some point I was running breakfast by myself, and I know that looking back, breakfast doesn't sound like a lot, but considering it was my first job, I'd never worked in hospitality, I really did feel like they really were giving me a chance. And I had the best team. Management was nice. Everybody was really nice. And all in all, I'm just really, once again, grateful that I had that opportunity. So having had such a cool job, I mean, I was working bar, breakfast, dinner, really all round in the F&B, and meeting all these new people and really thriving. Yeah, I just had the best time. Let's keep it at that. I did realize that once I had moved back to my parents' house and I was driving 1.5 ways one way and 1.5 hours back, that 3 hours a day for going to work is a little bit much. So unfortunately, I had to quit and I had to go look for a new job. And as I was part of the pre-opening team for this previous hotel in Amsterdam, I thought, how cool would it be if there was another pre-opening team for a restaurant more nearby? And there was. I mean, how cool. So I thought, I'm gonna apply, and being the insecure person that I am, I thought, wow, I'd be so grateful if they accept me or if they hire me, because I know that I don't have a lot of experience, but I know that I can show myself and I'll work super hard and whatever. And then I got invited for a job interview. And I was like, oh my gosh, this is really good. It's a great start. I went to the job interview, met the guy, met the boss, and I was like, ugh, I'm not sure I really like this guy. Like, he was really cool. Guy in his 50s, asked me a lot of questions and was really like questioning whether I was fit for the job. And he was like, yeah, you must realize that a hotel is super different from a restaurant and you're gonna have so much to learn, and are you up for the task? And I was like, yes, sir, of course. Yo, I am so willing to work. And I was. I mean, I was trying to prove to other people that I was worth hiring. So yeah, looking back, maybe not the most healthy reason to work that hard. So as I was hired, as a pre-opening team, we had a lot of stuff to do. Like, we had to paint the walls, wash everything. It was a mess. Like, not a nice place. Old, disgusting. Everything had to be clean and redone. Which was fine, except that at some point I had to climb a 5-6 meter ladder up to a window to wash the windows, and the ladder was super unstable or felt super unstable. And in Holland, we have all these laws in place that this doesn't happen. And I thought, you know what, it doesn't matter, it's just a law. I mean, I still want to show this guy that I am doing my best, that I'm worth and fit for the job. So I did everything without questions asked. Now, when I told my parents about this, they were like, I don't think it's good for you to work here. I think this is really dangerous. And they were just protecting me. And I said, no, you know, this is what I need to do to climb the job ladder. And looking back, I'm like, gosh, Faye, your parents probably know better. That's lesson number one. Listen to your parents. They have your best interest at mind. Anyway, that's number one. Once the restaurant had opened, mind you, I had so much responsibility in the other hotel. I got to open the breakfast. I got to close the bars at night. I just had a lot of responsibility, even in these first 6 months of work. And I got there and I thought, you know what? I'm so ready for this. I'm excited to meet even more people, excited to learn how to work in a restaurant, as it is so different from working in a hotel. Let me tell you. I mean, it is, but it isn't. At the end of the day, you're bringing food to a table. You're making sure your guests are happy. That's literally the base of it. So don't, no, Fiona, chill. Cool. So first day we had guests. There were 3 tables, and I remember bringing the food to the table and then 5-6 minutes later asking, so how's your meal? Are you having a good time? What do you think of the place? And I was just making small talk, and these people really seemed to enjoy it. And as I walked away from the table, my boss said, Fiona, could you come to my office for a minute? And I was like, sure. So I went, and I thought he was gonna have some feedback on maybe my tone of voice, or I don't know, anything. I thought I did a really good job, but apparently I didn't. I mean, he wasn't gonna call me into his office for nothing. So I sat down and I said, what is it, Peter? And mind you, leading up to this, we'd already been working together for 2-3 weeks, I think, maybe a month. And there were these little irritation points, and I never mentioned them because I thought, Fiona, you need to show yourself. You need to just suck it up and do what this guy asks, and the whole team is doing it, so you must do it too. And he tells me, Fiona, I hired you as a food runner. And I said, yeah. I had no idea what a food runner was. So he explained to me. He said, Fiona, as a food runner, you stand in the corner of the restaurant, you watch till people have finished their glasses or finished their plates. If the bell in the kitchen goes ding, 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 you walk to the kitchen, you bring the food to the table, and you walk back to the corner to observe whether people have finished their glasses or plates. And I was shocked. I was so shocked. I thought, wow, this is what we're doing? I mean, is this okay? And I felt this fire inside of me. At that moment, I realized that this was way past feedback, and it was the tone of voice. It was the way he looked at me, the way the past 3 weeks he'd been bossing us all around. And without even thinking, I heard myself saying, well, you know what, Peter, go fuck yourself with your fucking restaurant. And in that moment, I ran up, I got dressed. I was dressed in my working clothes. I changed my clothes into my normal clothes. I left it behind and I left the building. And shaking outside, I called my mom like, oh my gosh, Mom, I just quit my job. And she was like, well, that's great. And she was super happy. And I thought, wait, you're happy I quit my job? I mean, I've only been trying for a month. What is this? And I was so shocked because I literally thought that my parents wanted me to do my best. And of course they want me to do my best, but not at the cost of myself. And I went home and she said, you know, it's totally cool. No problem. We talked about it. We talked about the entire month that I'd been working there. And I mean, I guess they must have noticed that I was becoming a different person, not going to work, loving my job like I was going to Amsterdam. And I waited for my payment. And I wrote him an email saying, look, I expect you to pay me for the work I did. And I didn't get a response. I called him, I emailed him some more, and there was literally zero response. So someday, I told my mom about this, and she was like, you know, I have the best idea. And my mom, she is so cool. She does have the best ideas. So her best idea is super unorthodox, totally not okay, but I'm about to commit to a felony right here, so excuse me. But the coolest thing was that she was like, we are gonna go and get your fair share of payment. And obviously it's a restaurant, so we made a reservation. I told my colleagues I was gonna come and say hello, have dinner with them, because, I mean, the concept was fine. The concept of the restaurant was really cool. So we had dinner there. It was Saturday evening, and we have first course, main course, dessert. We had a bottle of wine, a bottle of water. We had our fair share. And we go and ask where the boss is. So we ask, gosh, is he up in his office? No, he wasn't. Okay, no problem. So my mom's like, why don't you call him? So one of my colleagues calls this guy and he picks up and he's like, yeah, with Peter, blah, blah, blah. And my mom's like, hi, we've just had the nicest dinner with you. We're so grateful. And he's like, oh, that's really good. Oh, I'm so glad to hear that. And he's really nice about it. And my mom's like, yeah, and with that, I'd also like to let you know that it's my daughter's payment that has hereby been done with. And you can just hear him thinking and go, excuse me? And my mom was like, yeah, well, you haven't paid my daughter for the month of work that she worked here. So we thought it would be nice to have a little dinner on your costs. And this guy starts yelling through the telephone, like, I am not even joking. He goes completely ballistic. And all I'm thinking is, oh my gosh, my mom is really cool. I mean, she gave me the opportunity to do the calling, and I was too afraid. So, yeah, it was quite the story. And it has taught me 3 things. So one of the 3 things is actually that once an emotion arises, you must address it. And with that, I mean, I had so many opportunities that month to say, look, I am not okay with what we're doing here. I'm not okay with the way you're talking to me. I'm not okay with the way you're talking to my colleagues. And I thought it was normal because everybody was just doing their thing. They were just continuing. They didn't say anything, so why should I say anything? But looking back, that is definitely a story I take to heart, because I think that if I, looking back, would have said something about what I was feeling at the time, I wouldn't have had to let it escalate like that and to say, why don't you go screw yourself and go find yourself another runner. Second lesson I learned is know your worth, because if I had known my worth, I wouldn't have had to do this for a month and I would have been able to say something about it. I mean, I guess it kind of ties in with lesson number 1, but if I would have known my worth, I wouldn't have had to say yes to the job. I would have listened to my gut feeling and say, you know what, this doesn't feel right. This guy doesn't feel right. I don't have to work for him. I must believe that another job will come down my path and I'll be happy with that and take that. And I mean, I did. I took a really cool job after that and it literally took me like only 2 weeks. So what are we even talking about? And the lesson 3 ties in with lesson 2. So I guess they all tie into each other, is listen to your gut feeling, because she never lies. And yeah, with that, I think this story is done. As I said, it's a story I really like to, well, not really like to tell, but it's a story I like to keep in mind, especially because, first of all, it was super cool that my mom did this with me, and it was just a lesson to myself that I don't have to try so super hard for everybody to like me, especially not a boss that has to pay my salary. I mean, obviously they have to like you, but what it boils down to in the end is that you do your job and you do it well and with passion, and you enjoy it. And I guess that's what I'm doing right now. I'm recording myself. I'm starting up a new job, what I'm really enjoying, and it's new to me, but I don't have to prove to anyone that I can do it. And I think that's all I want to share today. I'd like to thank you for watching. Please don't forget to like and subscribe. Please do let me know what you think of this story. And I wish you the best day. Thank you.